Hello, Fugman families. Welcome to our 4th grade virtual Block F ceremony. Although we can't be together in person, we are so excited to recognize the hard work and achievement of these special marbles. The Block F Award is the most prestigious award a Fugman student can earn. These students have worked so hard in the classroom, on the field and courts, on stages, and in our community to earn this recognition. I recognize that this ceremony is far from what we are used to putting on for the Block F. Seeing all of our students dress their best, walking across the stage with parents and family in the audience bursting with pride is something we cannot replicate through a screen. But I encourage you to not let those shortcomings in any way diminish the pride you should have. We are going to celebrate this accomplishment, and to our Block F winners, I want you to know that we are so proud of you and your hard work. Being your principal is an honor and privilege, and I could not be more proud to stand here and recognize you all. One highlight, though, of this new style is you don't have to pretend to laugh at my jokes in person. You can awkwardly giggle at your goofy principal from the comfort of the couch in your living room. Congratulations, you are Block F recipients. You did it. Our Fugman fam is cheering you on and swimming alongside you, even from a distance. I would also like to take a moment to thank our amazing 4th grade teachers. They have worked so hard this year, and I'm grateful to work alongside this incredible group of educators. Ms. Ross, Mrs. G, Ms. Black, and Mrs. Cox, thank you. I'd also like to thank our office staff, custodians, and Mrs. Oldham for all their hard work. A few brief housekeeping items in terms of what to expect from this ceremony. I will be recognizing each individual recipient and reading the responses they submitted via a Google form. We will also have messages from their classroom teachers that you will see prior to recognizing each class. I'm ready. Our audience is chomping at the bit. What do you say we get this thing started? All right, let's go.
Room 14, I am so incredibly proud of you for earning Block F. I know that you've been working so hard to earn it all year long. So I just wanted to say good job. I'm so proud of you, and I wish I could be there celebrating with you today. But I look forward to seeing you guys again in the fall. So way to go. Good job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you, Miss Black. All right, our first recipient from room 14 is Mason Blair. Mason's greatest accomplishment this year was making it to the state competition in History Day and making it to districts in wrestling. In 10 years, Mason sees himself at a big school like LSU or Alabama. His greatest inspiration is his parents, coaches, and teacher. Great job, Mason. Our next recipient from room 14 is Kate Breton. Kate's greatest accomplishment this year is getting Block F in Sparthenian reading. In 10 years, she sees herself in her first year of college and will be working at her family's grape steak yard. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her parents and her brother. Great job, Kate. Next from room 14, Evan Compendio. Evan's greatest accomplishment this year is earning principal's math and everything else. In 10 years, Evan sees himself being a good teenager and having a good job. His greatest inspiration and the people he would like to thank include Miss Black, his mom, dad, and sister, and all of his previous teachers. Great job, Evan. Next from room 14, Zoha K. Zoha's greatest accomplishment this year was participating in Block F and finishing it. In 10 years, she sees herself finishing school and going to college. Her greatest inspiration is her parents. She would like to thank them for all that they do. She loves them so much. Great job, Zoha. Our next recipient is Kyle Kramer. Kyle's greatest accomplishment this school year was being named 4th grade student body president. In 10 years, Kyle sees himself in college at UCLA playing basketball and baseball. His greatest inspiration and the people he would like to thank are his parents for always getting him to the practices he needs to get to and always pushing him to do the best in everything that he does. Great job, Kyle. Our next recipient from room 14 is Kylie Leon. Kylie's greatest accomplishment this school year has been earning Block F. She worked very hard to accomplishment, and she listened to her teacher, got all A's, and participated in activities on time. She was also kind and more. She always tries to follow the rules and be respectful to teachers and other students. In 10 years, Kylie sees herself studying in college, where she wants to work hard and be a good teacher that teaches very well and is encouraging, kind, and smart. She also thinks she will be helping her classmates with their work that might be hard for them. She'll be living in an apartment with her encouraging and kind friends while she goes to school. She might work as a nanny in college. Great job, Kylie. Kylie would also like to thank her entire family for encouraging her and pushing her to keep going. Without them, she wouldn't be who she is today. She'd also like to thank her friends and her teacher. She couldn't have earned Block F without her classmates' kind and caring words and actions. Our next recipient from room 14 is Ella Osder. Ella's greatest accomplishment this year was going for Block F. In 10 years, she sees herself studying in law school. And her greatest inspirations and the people she would like to thank are her parents. She would like to thank them for helping her in all she does. Our next room 14 recipient is Lacey Sachs. Lacey's greatest accomplishment this year has been earning Principal's Honor Roll every quarter and getting a Superintendent's Award. This year has been a great year of school because all of her friends, family, and her amazing teacher. They have all helped her get through this incredible year of school. In 10 years, she sees herself attending UCLA, studying to be a teacher, and she would love to be a teacher, which is why it is one of her biggest goals. She also sees herself on the UCLA basketball team. She loves playing basketball and dreams about playing in college. Way to go, Lacey. Oh, another one, sorry, that's another second pager right here. Lacey's greatest inspiration is her cousin and sisters. Thank you to her little cousin for making her laugh and smile, and she'd also like to thank her sisters for cheering her up and on every day. And her greatest inspiration is her older sister, McKenna. She has helped her through everything and wouldn't have gotten this award without her. She's always tried to follow in her footsteps and get Block F 3 years in a row, just like she did. Awesome job, great job, Lacey. Our next recipient is Sarah Satter. Sarah's greatest accomplishment is getting the Block F award. She sees herself in 10 years being a veterinarian and helping animals every day. She would like to thank and recognize her parents as her greatest inspiration for helping her and being so hardworking. It is amazing how much they do for her. Our next recipient from room 14 is Garrett Simpson. Garrett's greatest accomplishment this year was earning Block F. In 10 years, Garrett sees himself in college. He's not sure what he wants to do yet, but he will be in college. I believe it, Garrett. His greatest inspiration, and anyone he would like to thank, his greatest inspiration is his mom. She is the reason I did Block F, and because she encourages me to do my best. I would also like to thank my teacher, Miss Black, and all the teachers I have had at Fugman. Way to go, Garrett. Next, from room 14, Alexis Taco. Alexis's greatest accomplishment this year is wanting to receive Block F, and now she has done it. So Block F has become her greatest accomplishment this year. Another reason is that her brother also received Block F, and she thought it was going to be fun now that they have both earned it. So thank you to her brother for that. In 10 years, she sees herself going to college, and her goal for Block F is to get there. Block F has taught her to be honest, have discipline, and good character. And in 10 years, she wants to take up nursing like her parents. Lastly, her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her mom. Her mom is her inspiration because whenever she has homework or is sad, her mom helps her physically and mentally. She helps her when we go to the doctors to get a shot and tells me all the good things. And when I have a lot of homework, she is there for me. The people I want to thank are also my family, friends, and past and present teachers. My family is always there to support me, and also my friends. And my teachers, they have always been there through the easy and the hard stuff. I even call them a friend. Great job, Alexis. Those are our room 14 recipients. Great job, Miss Black's class. Awesome. Our next class will be the students from room 16, Mrs. G's class.
Hello, room 16, Block F recipient. This is Mrs. G here to wish you a big congratulations. I am so proud of each and every one of you. The beginning of the year, you each set your sights on achieving Fugman's most prestigious award, and you achieved this goal, which is not an easy goal to achieve. And I couldn't be more prouder of each and every one of you. I so wish we were together to celebrate your achievement, but since we can't be together, I did want to wish you a big congratulations. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mrs. G. All right, here are your recipients from room 16. Our first Block F honoree is Michaela Alcorn. Michaela's greatest accomplishment this year was making it to cross-country district championships. In 10 years, Michaela sees herself in college at UCLA studying to be a veterinarian. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her mom and dad. They are her greatest inspiration because they have inspired her to go this far, and she could not have been able to do all this without them right by her side. Great job, Michaela. Our next recipient is Alexandra Campos. Alexandra's greatest accomplishment is getting many good grades and making Mrs. G and her family proud. I'm proud of you too, Alexandra. In 10 years, she sees herself in college taking art and science classes and trying water polo because she likes to swim. And I think she's good, and she says, I think I'm going to keep my hair long. All right. Her greatest inspiration are her family and friends because they help her both in good and bad times. She'd also like to thank her auntie and uncle for all of their help. Great job, Alexandra. Our next recipient is Caden Cazell. Caden's greatest accomplishment has been finishing everything he had to do to earn the Block F award. He wants to earn it all 3 years. I know you can do it, Caden. In 10 years, he wants to go to college and sees himself playing baseball. He wants to go to Stanford University. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are everyone in his family. They always encourage him to do his best and try his hardest. His parents always do all that they can to give him what he needs to be successful. His brother always helps him too. My entire family is proud of me when I reach my goals, and they always tell me to go for more. They also show me a lot of love every day. Great job, Katie. Our next recipient from room 16 is Ananya Chava. Ananya's greatest accomplishment this school year was skiing down the Black Diamond skiing hill. Whoa, that's intense. In 10 years, she sees herself in pre-med on the path to becoming a doctor. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her sister, because she is the one who taught her to be organized with Block F. Our next recipient is Saheb Dutt. Saheb's greatest accomplishment this year was earning the Block F award. In 10 years, Saheb sees himself playing in the NBA. Saheb, I'll see you there. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are his family and all of the people that have helped him. Congratulations, Saheb. Our next recipient is Natalie Hahn. Natalie's greatest accomplishment this year has been improving at the cello, and she's also improved in her math skills. In 10 years, she sees herself being an engineer at Caltech and making robots to help the environment. Go, Natalie. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her mom and dad for helping her through school and to get through the coronavirus pandemic. They keep her strong and healthy. Great job, Natalie. Our next recipient is Lichi Jang. Lichi's greatest accomplishment this school year was initially she was struggling in English and language arts, but it's gotten better, and she has read many books. In 10 years, Lichi would like to become a violinist, and her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is Mrs. G, her teacher. Great job, Lichi. Our next recipient is Luke Kazarian. Luke's greatest accomplishment this school year is getting good grades, studying hard, and working extremely hard. In 10 years, Luke sees himself at a good college playing basketball. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are his mom, dad, Austin, and Mrs. G. Great job, Luke. Our next recipient is Maple Leach. Maple's greatest accomplishment this school year has been earning the Block F award. In 10 years, she sees herself studying, acting, and singing in college, and playing tennis. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her cousin Olivia, who inspires her. She's a worship leader, and listening to her makes her want to sing and follow her dreams. She also would like to thank her mom and dad for everything. The next room 16 recipient is Cassidy Wynn. Cassidy's greatest accomplishment this school year is being able to complete Block F, even when it felt like it might be impossible. In 10 years, she sees herself attending college, studying chemistry to be a chemist. Her greatest inspiration is her parents, who told her to work hard to achieve her goals. Great job, Cassidy. Our next recipient is Elena Patel. Elena's greatest accomplishment this school year is getting the Block F award. In 10 years, she would like to become a professional actress and singer, and then come back and give Mr. Olson singing lessons. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her beloved mother. Great job, Elena. And our final recipient from room 16 is Madison Chappelle. Madison's greatest accomplishment this school year has been receiving honor roll every quarter. In 10 years, Madison sees herself in college. And her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her mom, dad, and whole family. Great job, Madison, and great job to all of the room 16 recipients. We are so proud of you. Our next class will be room 17, Mrs. Cox.
Start. Hey kiddos, I just want to let you know how proud I am of you for earning Block F this year. Block F is a very big accomplishment, and I know you worked hard inside and outside of the classroom for this award. I wish we could be together to celebrate, and I miss you all. Bye.
Thank you, Mrs. Cox. Our first recipient from room 17 is Ben Aguado. Ben's greatest accomplishment this year has been getting the Block F award. In 10 years, Ben sees himself in Fresno State pursuing college. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is his teacher this year, Mrs. Cox, because she always helped if he ever needed it in school. He would also like to thank his mom and dad for helping him with schoolwork. Our next recipient is Bella Buckner. Bella's greatest accomplishment this school year was Block F in History Day. In 10 years, Bella sees herself in college at Fresno State or UCLA. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her mom, dad, and teacher, because they inspire her with how much love and support they give. She would also like to thank her family and Mrs. Cox. Great job, Bella. Our next room 17 recipient is Alex Chang. Alex's greatest accomplishment this school year is that he has earned high honor roll in the first quarter and principal's honor roll for the second and third quarter. In 10 years, Alex sees himself continuing his education at a university to attain his bachelor's degree. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is his dad. He always motivated me to get good grades and patiently reviewed my school assignments with me before every test on Friday. Great job, Alex, and go Dad. Our next recipient from room 17 is Arnav Gupta. Arnav's greatest accomplishment this school year was that when he was in cross country, he did much better and actually made it to the districts. In 10 years, Arnav sees himself at college, studying and taking courses to become a doctor or a computer engineer. His greatest inspiration is his parents. They are always helping out other people and so kind, which is why he wants to be like them. I would also like to thank them because they help me out so much and always support me. Great job, Arnav. Our next recipient is Amin Javed. Amin's greatest accomplishment this school year was getting Block F. In 10 years, I see myself as a doctor and being very successful. Me too. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is his mom, dad, and everyone in his family that pushed him to do Block F. Great job, Amin. Our next recipient is Reva Jolokar. Reva's greatest accomplishment this school year has been stepping out of her comfort zone and trying new things. She has also learned many valuable new skills. In 10 years, she sees herself in college continuing her education, pursuing her passions, and applying to various medical schools. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank, her greatest inspiration is definitely my father, who always motivates me and encourages me to do my best. I would like to thank my teacher and parents too. Great job, Reva. Our next recipient from room 17 is Sneha Katriketi. Sneha's greatest accomplishment this year is that she is incredibly proud of the skills and values she has learned through Block F, such as time management, organization, and responsibility. In 10 years, she sees herself in college studying pre-med to be a future pediatrician. She hopes to see herself as a kind-hearted, caring, responsible, and compassionate young adult. Those are some awesome goals. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is she looks up to those who are hardworking, unselfish, friendly, tolerant, and intelligent. She is so lucky to have so many around her, like her wonderful friends, an amazing teacher, and loving family. Great job, Sneha. Our next recipient is Serena Paul. Serena's greatest accomplishment this school year was getting into the GATE program because it covers so many interesting topics and is something that she looked forward to every week. In 10 years, she sees herself as a children's book author because she enjoys writing short stories. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is Mrs. White, because she was my first ever teacher and she was so kind and loving to all of her students. A big thank you to Mrs. White for being such an amazing teacher. I agree. Shout out Mrs. White. Our next recipient is Zaid Rahman. Zaid, his greatest accomplishment this school year was getting into GATE. In 10 years, he sees himself going to college at Duke, where his dad went to college. Mr. Olson's a big Blue Devils fan too. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are his parents, because they are always pushing him to work harder and providing everything he needs to get smart. Great job. Our next recipient is Ashar Razaki. Ashar's greatest accomplishment this school year was getting Block F. In 10 years, he sees himself in college studying business. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is Steph Curry. He'd also like to thank his mom for helping him to choose to do Block F and his dad for coaching him in robotics. Great job. Our next recipient is Yash Thandi. Yash's greatest accomplishment this school year was when he got Principal's Math All-Star in the first quarter. It's a great accomplishment because this was the first time I got the award in the first quarter. In 10 years, he sees himself in college having a job. I also see myself getting scholarships to pay my college tuition. I wish I would have got a scholarship. Oh, keep working hard for that, Yash. The greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are his parents. His father works hard and teaches him when he grows up, he would have to do the same. My mother takes care of me, and my brother teaches me skills and responsibilities that I will need later in life. Great job, Yash. Our next recipient and our final recipient from room 17 is Tanae Vasavada. Tanae's greatest accomplishment this year was working hard and planning to complete his Block F. In 10 years, Tanae sees himself as a doctor and loves helping people to get better, and he wants to have a successful career in medicine. His greatest inspiration is his dad because he helped him plan out what to do in Block F, and he earned this achievement because of his support. Great job, Tanae. And great job to all of the Room 17 recipients. I am so, so proud of you. Our final 4th grade class is Room 19, Mrs. Ross.
Hi, Room 19. I just wanted to tell you how proud I am of each one of you for earning this Block F award. As a 4th grader, this is not an easy accomplishment, and you each set goals, you knew what you needed to do to earn that award, and you did it. So besides just your academic excellence, it was your character that just shone through for me. You are role models for this year, you're role models for the years to come, and I'm just so, so proud of you. Each of you gave it your personal best. As I said, I'd love it that we always try to strive for excellence, and no matter what, you made my job fun, and I'm so sorry that I can't be on that stage sharing your award with you, but you know you're in my heart, and I'm totally sharing it with you there. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Ross. Here are our Room 19 recipients for the Block F Award. Our first recipient from Room 19 is Ashley Alali. Ashley's greatest accomplishment this school year is probably earning Block F. It's her first time doing it. In 10 years, she sees herself in medical school. She'd like to be a dentist. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her dad. She'd like to thank him for being there for everything and all he did to help with homework and tests. She would like to thank him for being there for her. Great job, Ashley. Our next recipient is Hunter Byer. Hunter's greatest accomplishment this school year is getting Block F and straight A's every quarter. In 10 years, Hunter sees himself as a Major League Baseball player, hopefully on the Giants, right, Hunter? His greatest inspiration, and anyone he would like to thank, his greatest inspiration has been Mrs. Ross. Thanks, Mrs. Ross, for always encouraging me to do my best. Great job, Hunter. Our next recipient is Lila Del Sandro. Lila's greatest accomplishment this school year, besides Block F, has been meeting new people and making new friends. In 10 years, Lila sees herself in college, hopefully at UCLA, where she will be studying art. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank Her greatest inspiration are her parents and family members. She would like to thank her parents for teaching her how to be a good person and how to not procrastinate and get things done, and encouraging and supporting her. Great job, Lila. Our next recipient is Ella Goldfarb. Ella's greatest accomplishment this school year was Block F, because Block F was one accomplishment that she had for the whole year. I think that was the biggest thing that I was trying to accomplish this year, and I finally did it. As you can see, Block F has been my greatest accomplishment. In 10 years, Ella sees herself in college. I don't know where I want to go yet, but I know I want to go to college. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her mom. Her mom is sweet, and she would like to be like her when she grows up. Great job, Ella. Our next recipient from room 19 is Sydney Niss. Sydney's greatest accomplishment this year was taking her History Day board to the county competition. In 10 years, Sydney sees herself playing softball for the Kansas Jayhawks. And her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her teachers and family. Great job, Sydney. Our next recipient is Carity Kraft. Carity's greatest accomplishment this school year was completing a project for History Day and moving on to the Fresno County History Day competition. Her group and her worked very hard on her board about Helen Keller and are very proud of how it turned out. In 10 years, she sees herself going to college to become an elementary school teacher. And in her spare time, she'll be volunteering at an animal rescue center because she loves to take care of animals. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her teacher, Miss Ross. She encouraged and believed in me, and she always made me want to do my best work. She pushed me when she knew I could do more. I am a better student because of Miss Ross. Great job, Carity. Our next recipient is Emily Lung. Emily's greatest accomplishment this school year was finishing Block F. In 10 years, she plans to be in college at UCLA. And her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is her mom. Great job, Emily. We are proud of you. Our next recipient is Noella Lu. Noella's greatest accomplishment was Block F because she had worked very hard for it. She did cross country, was a library monitor, cross-age tutor, and lunch helper. Community service is something she also had to do. All of these things were tough to get done, but she gladly accomplished them. And at the end of the school year, she is excited to get a plaque with her name on it. In 10 years, Noella sees herself at UCLA, taking art, history, math, architecture, and science. Noella's greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank are her mom and dad. Like both of them, she wants to go to UCLA. This is one of her dreams, and she knows her parents will support her every step of the way. Each and every day, they shine Christ's light and love for her. I am so glad to have a mom and dad that will always be by my side, helping me when I need it. They have been cheering me on since I was little, and they show me unconditional love. I'd also like to thank my siblings, Anderson and Avery. They will be with me forever in my heart. They give me courage, confidence, and hope. I love them always. My teacher is also someone I'd like to thank. She is the best teacher I have ever had, and she shows love, patience, and kindness while she teaches. When I got her, that was one of the best things that happened to me. My friends are very precious, and they will always be a comfort to me. I'm so glad to have them because of how nice they all are. All of them have loving personalities, and I love them for that. These are my greatest inspiration and who I would like to thank. Great job, Noella. Our next recipient from room 19 is Ethan Marino. Ethan's greatest accomplishment during this school year was his community service project. In 10 years from now, he sees himself as a famous author with a great sense of humor. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is Corey, the instructor at the homeless shelter, for giving him and his dad a job to volunteer. Great job, Ethan. Our next recipient is Adrian Millivold. Adrian's greatest accomplishment this year has been achieving Block F. It took a lot of effort and dedication to complete all the activities and meet all the requirements. In 10 years, I hope to be done with college and start my career. My greatest inspiration and who I would like to thank is Miss Ross because she has inspired me to never give up, even during this time. Thank you, Miss Ross. Our next recipient is Georgette Nassar. Georgette's greatest accomplishment has been getting the Block F Award this year. In 10 years, Georgette sees herself as a student in college or medical school. Her greatest inspiration was her teacher, Miss Ross, and her parents. The people she would like to thank are her friends and family and teacher too. Great job, Georgette. Our next recipient is Joey Quacha. Joey's greatest accomplishment this school year has been his History Day because he put a lot of effort into it. In 10 years, Joey sees himself in college as a soccer player. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank is his dad, because he always pushes him and wants him to keep playing sports and do his best at them. Great job, Joey. Our next recipient is Avery Schwartz. Avery's greatest accomplishment of the school year was doing cross country for the first time ever. Also, another accomplishment was getting A's on all of her report cards. In 10 years, Avery sees herself at college at UC Santa Barbara and also having a good job and living in a nice house or apartment. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is Miss Ross, her teacher. She has taught her so many things. Great job, Avery. Our next recipient is Ava Tamura. Ava's greatest accomplishment this year is earning the Block F Award and earning Principal's Honor Roll. In 10 years, Ava sees herself in college hoping to get straight A's. Her greatest inspiration and who she would like to thank is Miss Ross, because she is kind, funny, and smart. I would like to thank my mom and dad and Miss Ross for teaching me new things and encouraging me to do my best. Great job, Ava. Our next recipient is Ishan Tannen. Ishan's greatest accomplishment this year has been getting involved in so many extracurricular activities as part of the Block F requirements. Ishan has explored different areas and given some of his time to the community and helping at the food bank. It was a great opportunity, and he looks forward to being involved more in the future. I have grown so many ways, and it's all thanks to trying to be more well-rounded. In 10 years, Ishan sees himself enrolled in college and working towards a professional career in the field of science or math. His greatest inspiration and who he would like to thank are his parents. He is grateful for their support and encouragement and always trying to help make him the best version of himself. Great job, Ishan. And our final recipient for room 19 is Isaac Yu. Isaac's greatest accomplishment this year has been his academic achievements and personal achievements because he transferred from a new school. He was very nervous at the beginning of the school year, but now he has made new friends but although misses his old friends and teachers. In 10 years, Isaac sees himself being a mature and responsible person, a part of the community, and attending college pursuing his dreams. His greatest inspiration and who we would like to thank are his mom, dad, and his teacher, Miss Ross. They are his greatest inspirations. He would like to thank them for their support and never giving up on their studies. Great job, room 19. And great job to all of our 4th grade Block F recipients. We are so, so proud of you. And like I said, although we don't get to cross this stage and shake your hand and present you with your plaque, we are so, so proud of you. Please don't let any of these distance learning affect your accomplishments because we know how hard you have worked. Great job, Marlins. Keep up the good work, and we expect you to continue pursuing the Block F Award as 5th and 6th graders. You will be leaders on our campus. Thank you, Marlins. Have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this award show, and we hope to see you very soon. Thanks.